Okay, I have pressed record, so we are officially starting this webinar. Happy Wednesday, November 30th, the last day of November, which is an exciting time and a perfect time to be on this webinar, which is entitled Create Your Biggest Life in 2017. I am thrilled that you are here. I am excited to be here with you, and I want to first acknowledge and applaud each and every one of you for taking time out of your busy day, your busy schedules and calendars to be here. I recognize how many other things are competing with our time, and so I don't take it lightly, the fact that you are committed to being here with all of us today. It tells me a few things. It tells me that you are committed to your continued growth and success. It tells me that you are somebody who has big ideas, big goals, big dreams, and you're someone who's ready to live just a little bit bigger in your life if only you had the tools, the techniques, and the strategies that you need in order to take that big vision and craft it into a process that you can actually follow so that your dreams and your ideas and your vision become a reality. Now, if you have any questions, as Tiffany said, throughout this webinar, please feel free to ask those in the chat room. Tiffany's going to be moderating them. And if there's anything that you can't see or have questions, raise your hand, or again, leave that note. And I want to welcome each and every one of you. I'm going to come off full screen now and share the presentation with you. And I think that's all of the housekeeping for now. So let me now share with all of you the presentation that we are going to go through today. How we can create your best life in 2017. Now, awesome. Okay, I think we're good to go. Yay, all right, thank you for your patience. So as I said today, it is an amazing opportunity to really get clear on what your big vision is and what you want to set up for 2017 and how we're gonna make that happen. So specifically in this webinar, what we're going to do is really get clear on that big vision of yours, identify your 7 big areas of life. And in fact, we're going to give you a bonus area. We're going to identify 8 main areas of your life. And then we're going to choose the areas that we really want to focus on. Now, I am somebody that definitely believes everything is possible. However, maybe not all at the same time. As we're going to get into, sometimes when we have so many goals, so many ideas, and we start working on all of them all at once, we're not really setting ourselves up for our greatest success. So we're going to get clear on 3 areas that we want to focus on, and then in each of those areas, choose one goal. I really do believe that it's important to not just focus on our business life, but also our personal life and all those other areas that are really important, and set up goals in each. We're going to focus on just 3, which is more than enough. And if you only want to focus on 1 or 2, that is okay too, but definitely no more than 3 today. And then we're going to be able to further break those goals down into projects and weekly action steps so that we can really take that big vision and make it a reality. Sound good? So as I said earlier, this is a 60-minute webinar, and I really encourage you to stay on till the end. Not only do we have a lot of information, a lot of great content to offer, but at the same time, I'm also going to be introducing you to something at the very end and a bonus that only people who are on this webinar today are going to be exposed to. So I really, really want to encourage you to stay on till the very end. And on that note, I'm sure all of you got the email with the link, but see if you can really focus for the next 60 minutes. Give yourself the gift of this time for you. I'm not going to lie, I've certainly been that person who think that I can multitask and listen to a webinar or watch a webinar and do, you know, a few different things at a time, but this is a different kind of webinar. I'm not just going to be throwing information at you. We're actually going to be working hard on our vision and our plans and our goals together. And life gets so busy, we don't often take the time to do that. So you've already carved out this time for you. I really encourage you to fully be here, to fully be present, and to give it your all, because then you're going to see the results that ultimately I know that you want to also get. Okay, so 60 minutes long. We're going to cover a lot of great stuff, and please stay on to the end because I am going to give you an offer with some special bonuses that only those folks, you who are on the webinar live, are going to be able to have access to. All right. It is time to create your biggest life. Before we begin, you're probably wondering, who the heck am I? I'm somebody who definitely loves setting goals, having big visions, dreaming big dreams. However, it wasn't always that way. When I was growing up, I did whatever it took to fit in. I pleased the teachers. I was that person who was on the honor roll, got all the scholarships. You name it, I was involved, whether or not it was extracurricular activities, being a part of the school play or captain of the field hockey team. I wish there was a cheerleading team. I basically was involved in anything except for the chess club. Not because it's not cool, only because we didn't have one at our school. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have been involved in that as well. See, I got really good at playing the game. I got good at pleasing the teachers. I also got good at pleasing the cool kids. I used to have to go home and memorize names of brands and perfumes and famous designers, because the cool kids would play this game at lunchtime where they would choose a category like fashion models and see who could outdo the other. Now, I wasn't very into brands at that age. I'm still not, but I did whatever it took to fit in. We all want to belong. We all want to fit in, but I was doing things to please other people and not figure out who I was or what I wanted. And I also wanted to please my parents. So again, that people pleaser, on steroids, as you can say, not really knowing who I was or what I wanted. And then eventually I had a bit of a breakdown. I finally realized that I was living according to other people's expectations, other people's values, and it didn't feel good. And so I realized that I didn't want to follow these scholarships and go on an academic career and visit one of these bigger universities that was expected of me. I actually wanted to go to Broadway instead. And lo and behold, much to my parents' shock and chagrin, I actually got in. So I went to theater school. The problem was I didn't really believe in myself, but there was one person who did. One person who was at every opening and every closing of every show I ever did, my mom. She was there when I almost didn't get let back into the program. You see, I used to look at what everybody else was doing, and we'd have to do these weird acting exercises where they'd ask us to roll around on the ground, expressing our emotion using nothing but ah. And I was that one peeking open my eyes to everybody else, what they were doing, because I wanted to look good. I had a fear of looking bad. I wanted to do it right. And so when they told me that I wasn't going to be allowed back into the program because I constantly was going outside of myself to seek approval or pleasing daddy, they said, I almost wasn't going to be let back in. And then who came to my rescue? The one person who was always there for me, my mom. So even at university, that's who I called, and she was there for me. I did graduate from the program. I got an agent. I thought that theater was going to be my path. And then my mom got sick, and I eventually moved back home to look after her and felt purpose for the first time in my life. Finally didn't feel like I wasn't good enough, like I didn't fit in, like I wasn't tall enough or blonde enough or whatever enough to land the role or get the gig or to be accepted. I was exactly where I needed to be. And it was a very difficult time in my life because she was sick, but it was also a very special time. And then all of a sudden she passed away. And in an instant, I lost my number one fan, I lost my purpose, and I lost me. And so what did I do? I went on a mad search trying to find myself. And searching did I do. I started off in Thailand, volunteering at HIV positive orphanages for babies and children. I ended up going to Calcutta, volunteered with Mother Teresa's Missions of Charity for a while. I shaved my head, as you can see, raised $10,000 for breast cancer. I lived in ashrams, practicing intense yoga and meditation. I learned how to ride camels in the desert and surfboards on the coast. I met a man, moved into his van, went apple picking in New Zealand for a year. Why not? Certainly had a lot of crazy adventures. Now, why do I share this story with you? I'm sure a lot of you are thinking, oh, wow, you've really lived big. Ironically, though, I was somewhat hiding big. I was escaping big because I wasn't ready to go after what I wanted without that one person who was there to believe in me. I didn't feel like I was worthy enough, deserving enough, good enough. And so I escaped. Now, I eventually realized that I needed to face life and I needed to figure out who I was and what I wanted to do. And I realized that I was so fortunate to have a champion in my mother the way that I did. And now I'm committed to being a champion to other people who don't necessarily have somebody in their life to believe in them when they don't. And I'm committed to helping people realize that although you can't always choose what happens to you in life, you can choose how you show up, who you want to be, and what you're going to do about it. You can't necessarily rely on other people to believe in you, but you can choose to learn how to believe in yourself. And yes, I learned that life truly is too short. It's too short not to live your biggest life, which is why I am super committed to helping you figure out what your big life looks like and how we can break that down into a system and a step-by-step process that will allow you to start living that way today. So why does it matter? Why does it matter? Well, it matters because I know you have big goals, big dreams. Maybe you've always wanted to start running, even a marathon. Maybe you've always wanted to start your own project, your side business, or your own business. Maybe you've always wanted to write a book. Whatever it is, I know you have big ideas, big goals, and ideas that need to actually come into fruition because your unique dreams and your unique goals are based on the gifts that you have to offer this world, and the world is ready for them. Unfortunately, however, all too often, we don't take action on our big dreams and goals. Why is that? I'd love to hear in some of the comments, what are some of the things that stop us? But for some, it's not taking the time to figure it out what it is that we want. For others, it's doing what we think we should do instead of thinking about what it is that we truly want to do. Maybe you have so many competing demands on your life. We wear so many different hats. Maybe you're so busy taking care of everyone else that you don't take the time to take care of what you want, your wants, your desires. Maybe you're too busy looking at what everybody else is doing that you're not actually even sure who you are, what you want. The people pleasing, the comparing. I've been there, done that. I can certainly relate. And I think at the end of the day, it's fear. We're afraid. We're afraid of what we want. We're afraid of going after what we want and failing. And we're afraid of going after what we want and succeeding as well. But a lot of the times it's fear. It's fear that's preventing us from taking that first step. Or maybe it's fear of actually figuring it out. Maybe we are scared to put down our goals down or announce them to the world because what if we say we want something, we don't know how to figure it out? Well, I truly believe that once you figure out what it is that you want, you'll figure out the how. And if you have a plan and a process to break it down, it becomes that much easier. And that's what we're going to do today. Now, unfortunately, less than 50% of the population actually set goals. So you're already ahead of the game. But of those who set goals, less than 50% never achieve them. And often that's directly related to the fact that they don't have a plan to get them accomplished. When you have a plan and a process and a system in place, you are 10 times more likely to actually see your dreams come true. And I know that's what you want. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. So let us get into it, because if you don't have a plan, you're never going to be able to know when you arrive at your destination. Now, I hope that you downloaded the handout that I sent to you, which is going to craft on one page your big vision, your big dreams, your projects, and your action steps. We're going to get into all of that. Don't you worry. But before we get there, I want you to take a few minutes now to start crafting up what your big vision is going to be for 2017. And one of the ways I love to do that is to start brainstorming using a mind map. So I asked you to bring some paper or a journal. I want you right now to create a circle in the middle of your piece of paper and ask yourself the question, what is it that you really want? And I want you to think about what you want to be, do, and have this coming year in 2017. Maybe you want to meet somebody you've always wanted to meet. Maybe you want to attend a certain number of events. Maybe you want to start that project you've thought about. Maybe you want to be a published author. Maybe you want to be a runner. Maybe you want to take that trip to that exotic land that you've been thinking about for so long. What is it that you want to actually create this year? I want you to take a few minutes now to really get clear and craft your big vision for 2017. Okay, I'm going to put on some inspiring music. Oops. If I can figure that out, so that we can do that. Tiffany, can you just do me a favor and just write in the comment box here whether or not you can still see what I'm seeing, or you can still see your big vision on there, just to confirm for me. That would be great. Okay, so for those of you who are just joining us, we're just going to take a few minutes to really get clear on what it is that you want to create, your big life, what that looks like in 2017. Who you want to be, what you want to experience, who you want to meet, what you want to cross off that bucket list. Okay, I know, I love that song, and we could certainly get into this, but for the purposes of time, we have to move on. Now, again, this is just the beginning. We're scratching the surface here, but hopefully that time gave you a little bit to really get you excited about all that you can create and achieve for your life this year. Now we are going to move on. So I want you to take that big vision that you just crafted, some of those ideas that you thought about, who you want to be, what you want to have, and what you want to do this year. And then we're going to break it down into the 8 big areas of your life. Now, if you want separate copies of this, I'm going to make this all accessible to you. When I give you the recording tomorrow, I'll give you these individual sheets as well so that you can have that. I know you already have your Living Big Life Plan, that 1-page sheet, but I'll give you these things as well so you can continue to play around with them. But if we think about our life, we can break it down into 8 different areas: career, health and wellness, intimate and social, fun and recreation, spirituality, finances, growth, personal development, and our family. Now, you may have other big areas of your life, and if you do and you want to put those titles on your big wheel, then go for it. But now in your journal or on your paper, whatever you're using, I want you to create a circle like this, and I want you to title the 8 different areas, and then I want you to think about what your ideal would look like in each of these areas. Okay, so I'm going to give you another few minutes to be able to do this, and I want you to imagine that in the center, as you can see on this slide, in the center is a 0, and at the very 10 on the edge of the wheel is a 10. So if you were going to have an ideal life in each of those areas, what would a 10 out of 10 look like? And then I want you to be honest with yourself and draw an imaginary line through the center of each of these pieces of the wheel or the pie, however you choose to look at it, and give yourself an honest mark where you're at today. So with respect to your health and wellness, maybe you're at a 9, maybe you're living out the plan. Every once in a while you allow yourself to have those French fries, or you skip your run or your yoga class or your morning stretch, whatever it is for you, but maybe on the whole you're pretty good, so you're at a 9. Maybe you've thought about implementing something in your health and wellness area for a long time, and that's something that you want to give a priority to because you're just not feeling so hot. Maybe it's an area you've been neglecting for a while, and so you want to put it at like a 4. Okay, so wherever you are, this is only for yourself. You're not going to have to share it, but be honest, get clear with yourself, because sometimes when we can see it visually like this, we get an opportunity to actually look at all of these areas and see where we may want to actually put a little bit more focus. So if we imagine that this is a wheel and we have our where we're at in each of these areas along the line in different places, and it's a jaggedy circle, then our ability to use those wheels to ride along are going to be a little bit more challenging. So get clear with yourself. Take a few minutes now. You're going to think about what your ideal in each of these 8 areas is going to be. I'm going to stop talking, and then I want you to give yourself an honest mark from 0 to 10 on that imaginary line. Okay? Go. Okay, so we are going to pause on that now. I hope that you took some time to look at all 8 areas of your life. And if you're not finished, then you'll have some more time after this, I promise. And again, I will send you this information so you can keep doing it. This is actually an exercise that I started guess 6 years ago now, and I do it on a regular basis because, as I said in the beginning, life sometimes gets busy, and even though we have the best of intentions, best ideas, best laid plans, sometimes because life gets so busy, we're all doing, and we don't actually take that time to take a step back, to look at our life from that bird's eye view and actually see where we're at right now and what it is that we want to create. Because again, when you're super clear on where you want to go, then you can figure out how to get there. All right. So now we're going to break that down. So you've now looked at all of these 8 areas and you've given yourself an honest mark of where you are today on a scale of 1 to 10. Now that just gives us a measure so that we can see for ourselves where is an area that we may want to put a little bit more focus or attention to. So looking at your wheel, whether or not it's on your paper or in your journal, and don't judge yourself based on the circle or anything like that. That's not what it's about. But I want you to now look at the 3 areas that you want to choose to focus on. Maybe it's an area that you gave yourself a 3 or a 4 at. Or maybe you want to choose an area that you're so close to being at your ideal that you just want to give it that extra little bit of attention and love, that extra little nudge so that you can be at a 10 out of 10 in that area. So choose 3 and circle them. Circle them right now, whether or not it's your career, spirituality, and finances, or if it's your health and wellness, your family. Choose the 3 areas that you are going to focus on, okay? I'm going to give you 30 seconds to do those circles while I take a sip from my happy mug. And now I want you to look at what you wrote down would be your ideal, your 10 out of 10 in each of these areas. So let's say your family. A 10 out of 10 for you would be to be in regular communication with your family. If they live farther from you, maybe you're seeing them once a year or once every 6 months. Maybe you want to plan a family reunion. Maybe if you have siblings, you want to do a siblings getaway or, an annual trip. Or perhaps with your parents, for those of you who still have your parents or one or the other, you want to plan a breakfast date. What would an ideal life look like with your family? Now, if you are clear on that, then you can figure out what one goal would be to help you get there. So the first time I actually did this exercise, I was looking at the area of friends, and I'm very fortunate I have great friends and a great network, but there were a few extra things that I wanted to do with them. And so I had this idea to plan a monthly brunch. I happen to love brunch and I happen to love being with my girlfriends. And so when I looked at the ideal, I was having, regular meals with them and brunch. And so one of the goals I set was to have an actual monthly brunch. So the next day I sent out an email to my girlfriends and said, listen, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to start every Sunday, the first Sunday of the month, to have a monthly brunch. Whoever can make it and drop by, I'm committed to doing this. I would love for you to be there. And so we started the Ladies Who Brunch. And so it was for a little over a year until I went away for a little bit and something happened. But now that I'm speaking to you about this, I actually want to reinstate my Ladies Who Brunch, maybe after I'm away, because I'm going to be going away for a year, which we'll get into in a minute. But in any event, maybe that's what your ideal would look like. And so what one goal could be that would get you closer on the path to creating that ideal? So again, based on those 3 areas that you just circled, I want you to write down and identify one goal in each of those areas, okay? One goal. I'm going to give you another minute. I'm going to put in some more epic music to help you get inspired. FYI, bonuses go out to people who can recognize these songs and write them in the chat box. So just another, about a minute or so. Okay, so congratulations to Robert. Indeed, it is the Circle of Life, an instrumental version. And I've heard from some of you that the music isn't very loud, so my apologies. It's loud for me on my laptop, but I have no idea what it sounds like to you. So clearly not very loud and epic. Hopefully it was enough to give you a little bit of inspiration to get you thinking about your goals in those three areas. Robert, I'm going to come up with a special prize for you by the end. So thank you very much for playing along. All right. So hopefully we've identified now the three areas we want to set our goals in and the three actual goals that we're going to set. Screechy on my sound, likely my speakers. I'm sorry, Kathy. So maybe we should just leave the music out from here on in. And if you want to have some inspirational music playing in the background wherever you are, then certainly feel free to do that. Okay, now we're gonna break it down. This is where it gets even more exciting. So we've got our three big goals, our three areas of life that we're gonna focus on. And now we need to know how we can break that down into steps that we can actually use. Welcome to your Living Big Action Plan. Now, this is the sheet that all of you should have gotten in advance, and hopefully you actually have printed that out and have it in front of you. And if not, don't worry, you can do it later, or you can draw this chart in the notebook that you're using or on the paper that you have in front of you. So we took some time to get clear on what we wanted to create in 2017. And those words, those phrases, those ideas that you wrote down on your mind map are going to become your vision. So ideally, you are going to now write in the box on the left-hand side, or again, if you don't have the sheet, you just want to write it down in your journal, what your vision is. And in this box, I want you to get specific. I want you to get clear. I want you to be as detailed as you can be in describing what your 2017 is going to look like. Now, this vision should excite you. It should motivate you. It should make you smile. And I wouldn't worry about how big it might be. We're not looking into the hows yet. The vision is really just to get yourself pumped about what a big 2017, an epic 2017 is going to look like to you. So take a few minutes now, or just a moment, and jot down some of those ideas that came from your mind map and put it into this box. Now, if you are a perfectionist and you're somebody who says, oh, I'm just going to make notes now and I'll do this later, I encourage you to do it now, because that later, that someday when you have time on your calendar, may never actually arrive. So take some time to make notes now. It doesn't have to be pretty. You just have to get those ideas down, okay? So I'm going to allow you to just change some of those, not change, but take some of those ideas and either put them into sentence format or bullet points, whatever works for you. Okay, so you have your vision, which excites you, and now you may have figured out you're going to take those 3 goals and write them down into the goals column. So what are your 3 goals? Okay, so just transport those from what you circled or what you wrote down in your Living Big life map, Wheel of Life, and now you're going to put them into the goals section. So again, take a minute or 2 to do that. And it's not Robert, it's Tommy. My apologies. Tommy, you are the winner. Indeed, it is Circle of Life. And we have another song. For those of you who have screechy speakers, my apologies. For those of you for whom it's very quiet, again, my apologies. But just for fun, we'll keep it going. Okay, you guys are great sports, great participants. Thank you for playing along. It is indeed Chariots of Fire. For all of you who may want to be runners in this webinar live or watching the recording, I too, just like Tommy said, can envision those people running along the beach, running to Chariots of Fire. It's a good, inspiring song. And maybe you don't want to be a runner, but you can still appreciate the song, and that's cool too. Okay, now we're going to move on. So we have our goals, we have our vision. We need to break that down further. And we're going to do so by identifying what are the projects that we can work on within our goals. Now stay with me here. So we have our 3 goals that we're going to achieve definitely in the next 6 months. In order to do that, we need to break that down further. So let's say as part of your big vision, you wanted to become a published author. If we break that down into a goal, maybe one of your goals is to start your book. Maybe your goal is to write the first draft of your book, okay? So if that's what you would like to accomplish in the next 6 months, then what are some 90-day projects that have to happen in order for you to write the first draft? And the projects are going to happen in the next 90 days. So we're just going to focus on the next 90 days. We will break that down further, but for now. So maybe it's you want to identify all of the chapter titles. Maybe you want to write the first draft of chapters 1 to 3. Maybe you want to write the first draft of chapters 1 to 5. So what is a project that is going to break down your goal that once achieving that goal is going to bring you closer to your vision? So everything is in alignment with one to the other. Does that make sense? So from your goals, which you now have in this one-page Living Big Action Plan, I want you to identify one project within each of your goals. I'm going to skip ahead to the next slide so you can get a little bit of an idea of what I mean by that. So in your 6 months goals, you have goal number 1, and then you have projects. You have 3 projects that are going to go within goal number 1. Now, for the purposes of today, I only want you to identify your first project, okay? So your first project towards your first goal. Again, I can give you this information, and this is a system that, I've used for a while that you can continue to use as well. But for today, I want you to just identify one project that is going to bring you closer to each of your 3 goals, okay? So take some time now to identify that 90-day project. Me too. Me too, Diane. Okay, so we have another winner, another correct song identification going on. So Diane, it is You Gotta Be. I love that you could pick that out, even though it's the instrumental version. Well done. It is a great song. So one of the reasons why I have this playing is who do you gotta be? Who do you got to be in order to make these dreams happen, in order to believe that you can achieve these goals, to really get clear on what projects you need? You got to be in that space of belief. You got to be that person who, feels the fear and does it anyway, as Dr. Susan Jeffers would say. So I love it. Thank you. I love this song too. Thanks for playing, and congratulations, Diane. Okay, so now we've broken it down. We've identified at least our first project that's going to help us get closer to achieving those 6-month goals. And here is where it's going to get even more fun. Are you ready? Okay, so now we're going to take those 90-day projects, and we've got one in each area. And we're going to figure out what the first step, the second step, and the third step would be in creating those projects. Whoa, okay, that's a lot of information. What do I mean? So now we know that we want to, let's say, draft our first 3 chapters of our book. Maybe if you want to run a marathon, maybe it's you want to have run your first 10K, okay? So whatever your 90-day project is, what is the first step that you need to do? Now, oftentimes when we're creating our to-do lists or we're identifying the steps that we need to take, we have massive actions that we're not actually going to do. If you have a things to-do list and it includes write a book, the chances of you crossing that off are pretty much slim to none. Same thing with, buying a house or launching a program or starting a business or having a baby. There's a lot of things that need to take place. You can't just cross that one thing off. We don't take the time to break it down. And often when it's so overwhelming, when that big idea seems too big, then we don't take that first step. So why don't we break it down? Now, I want you to break it down, here's the kicker, into an action that will take you only 5 minutes or less. Yes, that's right, 5 minutes or less. And something that you can schedule in your calendar today, all right? So something that you're gonna do to schedule in your calendar today that you're gonna do within the next 48 hours. And if it's an action that's gonna take you 5 minutes or less, the likelihood of you actually doing it are pretty high. Here is where you're gonna need your Post-its. So for each of your 3 projects, I want you to get a different piece ideally, or a different color ideally, of a Post-it that you're gonna write down your actions. Now, I want you to just identify the first action in each of these 3 project areas. So for instance, let's say that your project is to brainstorm, or get the draft out of the first 3 chapters of your book, but you have no idea how to write a book. If you think about it, what could be the first step that you could do? Maybe you want to make a phone call to a friend of yours who's written a book. So that is make a phone call, okay? So you're writing down on your first sticky note, write a phone call. And that is then going to go into one of the piles, at the bottom of your sheet. So if you can see this and you see where it says sticky note pile number 1, that's what you're gonna put on the top of the pile. Now, if that was easy and you know what the next step is, then write the next step underneath that one. So now you've made the phone call. Maybe you're not sure what the next step is. Well, chances are that first step is going to lead you to the next one. So that's okay. So all you need to do is have that first one on the top of the pile, but have a few different sticky notes on there so that after you create the first one, you take it off, you check it off, and then you see what's next. And again, if you're not sure what that next step is, chances are that first one, after you've made that phone call, they might say, go and listen to this webinar, or go and buy this book. It'll tell you everything you need to know. Or maybe it'll say, that person will say, you need to meet so-and-so. So if we're not sure what our step number 2 is, then our step number 1 will help us identify that. If you are sure, then write that down already, okay? So then I want you to go to your next pile, sticky note pile number 2. And maybe this project is run a 10K. Maybe you want to research what 10Ks are happening in your city. Maybe that's your first step, if that can take you 5 minutes or less. Maybe it's find an accountability buddy who wants to run with me. Maybe it is write down on a big poster or sticky note or something, you can run a marathon. Whatever it is, whatever you identify your first step to be, write that on the top of your second pile. And then the same thing for your third pile. Capiche? If anybody has any questions, please feel free to shout them out, write them out, ask away in the chat box. That's what it's there for. And now we're going to get back to the music. I want you to write, again, just one step under each of these projects. Now this is a hard song, so bonus to anybody who can identify it, but it was new to me when I first stumbled upon it. So I don't necessarily expect you to. Bonus for those who can identify. Okay, any ideas? I haven't seen anything in the chat box. A little bit more difficult. It's called Human Legacy. It's a really great instrumental song. One of those epic soundtracks, I like to call them. And sometimes when I'm really trying to brainstorm or get my big ideas or trying to write and I want some inspiration, I play epic soundtrack music. You can Google that on YouTube or on Spotify or iTunes, whatever it is that you use when you're listening to your music. Look up epic soundtrack music. That's just a little bonus from me to you. It'll often put me right in the zone that I need. So maybe it'll work for you too. All right, human legacy. We all have one to leave at the end of the day. So what is yours going to be? And when you're getting clear on who you want to be, what you want to achieve, what you want to go after, you are already in the process of creating your legacy, which is pretty darn exciting. Okay, so now you have a one-page living big action plan. Round of applause, yay! Very exciting. Often when we can see what we're working towards and have everything there on one piece of paper, it's pretty exciting. Now, I don't know about you, but I love writing things down. I have, I don't know how many different journals, and I have pieces of paper from when I attend this conference or this note, and I have things to do lists that come to my mind when I'm somewhere else or at the grocery store, and so I'm writing things down all over the place. But when I actually found this system and I had everything right there in one place, it was so easy for me to not necessarily get sidetracked because I know everything is leading towards that big vision. Now, often we have things to do lists that we don't necessarily want to do, and I get that. As the roles and responsibilities increase in our life, we're going to have a lot of other things that we need to do. I get it. But if you can somehow stay focused on where you want to go, on what that big vision is, and then you know what your goals are and how to break those down into projects and what your next step is, if you have that all in one place, it's easy for you to look at it on a regular basis and to help yourself stay on track, stay committed to achieving what it is that you really want to achieve. And I know that's who you are. I know you have big goals, dreams, ideas, desires. Otherwise, again, you wouldn't be here. So I congratulate you for taking the time to identify what those goals are and for being open to learning the system that you can now take away with and actually make them a reality. So you have the system, you have the process. What happens to us that, we're all fired up, we're all gung-ho and committed, we have the best laid plans, but then it doesn't always work out? Why is that? What happens? What stops us? Well, there's a few different things that stop us. Sometimes, people have big goals, big dreams, but they don't necessarily have the plan, right? A lot of times it's our fear. Sometimes we have that mindset where we don't really deserve. We feel like we don't deserve going after what we want. Sometimes we have so many other competing obligations. Sometimes we have the wrong support network. We have people in our life who maybe they don't necessarily have big dreams, and so they don't understand why it is that we want to have big dreams. Oftentimes we figure out what it is that we want based on our shoulds, or based on the shoulds that have been implanted on us, right? We have values that have been placed on us by the people in our lives, whether or not they're our mentors, our teachers, our friends, or our family. And we feel like we should do that too, but it may not resonate with who we are. And then often we're comparing ourselves, right? We're looking at what everybody else is doing around us. That's what I used to do all the time. And if I'm honest, I still sometimes do that. We're humans at the end of the day, right? We feel as if everyone else has it figured out and it's just us who are trying to find our own way, but not necessarily the case. So when we compare ourselves to other people, it prevents us from going after what it is that we want. So all of these things and then some are what stops us. So what do we need? Well, we need a plan. First and foremost, we need to learn what it takes to push through that fear. We need to change our mindset into a powerful one that feels like we are deserving. We want to make sure we surround ourselves with our positive peeps posse, as I like to say, those people who are going to lift us up, who are committed to our success and are on the path of their own success at the same time. We need to make sure that we have clear obligations and clear priorities. Instead of following our shoulds, we need to figure out what our want tos are. And we need to change our comparison mindset to one of trust and belief in ourselves, belief that we are deserving of all that we want to achieve, belief that we are good enough, belief that we are ready now and we are exactly in the right place we need to be. What we need is something like the tribe. Now, this is the offer that I am super, super excited to introduce to you today. The tribe is a community of powerful, like-minded women who are committed to their own success as well as that of those around them. It's a group of women who have big dreams, big goals, big ideas, and are ready to put them into action. And more specifically, do that this year and make 2017 their biggest, most epic year yet. Now, if this is something that you're excited about, if this is something that you're committed to achieving, then I really, really encourage you to think about joining a community like the Tribe. Now, I'm somebody who walks my walk and talks my talk. And I had dreamed up, when I was doing my Living Big Life plan, a community of surrounding myself with powerful women who were all about getting out of their comfort zone, tackling their bucket list, and feeling like they were fully experiencing their life. So I created the Women Living Big community. And we've had an amazing time doing so many awesome, awesome events. And now I'm ready to take it to the next step. I want to up my game and help encourage the women in my community and the Women Living Big community to up their game as well. So in walking my walk and talking my talk, when I heard about an opportunity called Remote Year, I applied, and lo and behold, I actually got accepted. So come January 1st, I am going to be living and working in a new city every month over the course of a year. I was one of 75 people that got chosen into the Marikai cohort. Marikai is all about creation. If you look at the word, it's really cool. It's all about creating something that you love for your life. And I'm going to be packing up my bags. In fact, I've packed up my place for the most part, and I'm going to be going on an epic adventure this year, and I want to invite you along with me. What do I mean by that? I want you to create your most epic year. I want you to figure out what it looks like to step outside of your comfort zone and do the things that you've always thought about doing, to take these big goals, to take these big ideas, to take this big vision that you've now crafted and figure out how to do it. Now you've got your one-page plan, and already today you're going to be able to walk away and take action on that, and no doubt you will be able to create those goals and make them a reality. And if you want to take it a step further and you want to make sure that you're surrounding yourself with other people who want to be in that deserving mindset, who want to get rid of the shoulds, who are committed to living in alignment with their values, getting out of their comfort zone and saying yes to the things that they really want to do, then I want you in the tribe. This is what you're going to get. You're going to get 12 months of living big themes, of exercises, of challenges. We're going to do a series of 30-day challenges every month over the course of a year with a different living big theme. You're going to get weekly videos from me that are going to arrive in your inbox, as well as weekly emails that are going to help you stay on track with an idea to live just a little bit bigger. Now, I'm not one that wants to overwhelm your inbox or overwhelm your to-do list. So these are quick little actions that you can take, all to do with a theme that are going to help you feeling and living your biggest life. We're also going to have monthly Q&A calls. So we're going to be able to come together on a regular basis, ask ourselves questions, help ourselves figure out what's blocking us, what's getting in our way, being open and honest with our challenges. So again, we can create that supportive network that really is committed to each other's success. I truly believe only when you come together in a community and only when you figure out how everybody can win, are you also going to win. You're going to get monthly learnings from other women living big in the community and around the world. I'm going to be interviewing women I already have, and you're going to be able to hear their story of what living big means to them and help you get more ideas to live bigger in your life. It's a powerful community you're going to be a part of, and you're going to get this powerful accountability. I don't know about you, but when I actually commit to something publicly or I commit to somebody else in my life, the chances of me following through and doing it are going to be the chance of me doing it grow. And in fact, the only things I've ever achieved is when I've been accountable to other people. So everybody is going to get an accountability partner. Plus you're going to have that powerful supportive community who's going to help you stay accountable on your path. And when we're doing this together, when we're going through these themes and taking on these challenges and these mini living big exercises, checking things off of our bucket list, it's going to be pretty exciting when we're doing that together in powerful community. So you're going to get all of this, and I really want to make it as accessible and affordable as possible. There have been so many programs and so many things that I want to do in my life, and I haven't always been able to have the means to do so. So I really, really want to make this easy, and I want to make it so that you really can join it, because I want it as many people who want to be in this program as possible. So the Feel Good investment is $49 a month, or if you're ready to join on for the whole year, then you're going to get an extra bonus, and it's only $500 for the year-long investment. Okay, so really, really easy, all of this amazing stuff. And that's not all. As I promised in the beginning, for those of you who are on the webinar today, we've got a few little extra bonuses for you who are ready to say yes to your dreams, to your big vision, and want to sign up today. Before we get into that, I'm very fortunate that as I said, I'm surrounded by an amazing community, an amazing network, and some of the people that I've worked with are such a blessing to be able to work with and have some lovely things to say. I'm not going to read them, but you can read for yourself what some of these amazing women say. Bonus number 1, you are going to get your very own Living Big, Women Living Big journal. This is mine right here, and I write in it every day, and you're going to get journal prompts and ideas of how you can use this on a daily and weekly basis if you so choose. And yeah, one of the extra things that I'm going to be shipping to you when you sign up today. So pretty exciting. There are already some people in the tribe. They all have them, and I really, really believe in writing things down. As we also mentioned, when you write down your goals, when you write down what it is that you want to create, the chance of you achieving them exponentially grow. And there's something about bringing hand to paper that is pretty powerful. So you're going to get this Living Big journal, which is awesome. Bonnie, amazing Bonnie, has some awesome things to say. Again, I'm very, very fortunate. I'm not going to read it, but you can take the time to read that too. I am very much committed to helping all of the people in my community succeed, and I do help them break it down into step-by-steps, because again, when you're achieving your dreams, it lights me up, and I really am committed to being that champion and that cheerleader, and I love having so many powerful women in my life that I'm able to do that for. Bonus number 2, for those of you who are in the GTA area, we have a full day live event taking place on Saturday, December 10th. We're going to take the ideas that we learned in this webinar today, and we are going to expand on them. We're going to get a whole lot deeper. Plus, we're going to look at everything that took place in 2016, all that was and all that wasn't, so we can have some gratitude and be at peace with what happened in 2016, so that we can really look ahead powerfully to 2017. We're going to dive deeper into the exercises that we did today, but I'm also going to add in a few other exercises, a whole lot other content, a lot more work that we're going to do together in one big, powerful Living Big day. So we're going to create your biggest life, a blueprint for it on Saturday, December 10th. And when you sign up today, you're going to be able to get a ticket to that event for free, which is pretty darn exciting. For those of you who are not in the Toronto area, don't you worry, I got you covered too. We're actually going to take some of the exercises that we do, and I'm going to give you a private recording of that, so you'll be able to still glean some of the exercises and the access. You won't be there in person, but you'll still get that content. Okay. I also want to talk a little bit about the Women Living Big community. So again, so fortunate to have so many amazing women around me, and I don't want to talk about it. I want other people to be able to talk about it. So Tammy has a few things to say about how powerful it is to be a part of this community, and how it is really about being fearless, about getting out of your comfort zone, and being a part of a movement. So that's what Tammy has to say. It really is about expanding into those bigger parts of ourselves. And then finally, bonus number 3, not only do you get the journal, not only do you get a ticket to our live event on December 10th, but I'm also going to throw in a 30-minute one-on-one consultation with me. So wherever you are in the world, we can do this over the phone or on Skype. I actually like to meet live as well. I find it a lot more personal. So we are going to take what you did today and dive deeper and create a more solid plan. Any questions that you have, any concerns, we'll break that down. We'll bust through any limiting beliefs that you have. We'll do whatever we need to do in order to really set yourself up for success. That's my commitment to you. So when you sign up for the tribe, we're going to get that bonus time one-on-one together, so that you can really hit the ground running and start creating that momentum starting now. Pretty darn exciting. These are all the bonuses that you're going to get when you sign up for the tribe today. Okay. If this is something for you, if you are a woman who knows that you are ready to take your vision and make it a reality, then this tribe is for you. Now, if you're somebody who, you're totally fine where you are, you're not sure, and you want to be where you're at now next year, then that's cool too. And not everybody is ready to necessarily step out their game. And I respect and admire, and you need to be exactly where you are. But for those of you who are really ready to step up your game, and you know that you're ready for the adventure, you're ready for your most epic year yet, then I invite you to join the tribe. As Helen Keller says, life is a daring adventure, or it is nothing. Now, I know some of you are probably scared out there. I get it. I'm scared too. I'm scared about leaving and starting on this remote year and meeting people that I've never met before and living who knows where. I'm going to be in all over the world: Colombia, Argentina, Mexico, Serbia, Czech Republic, Spain, Malaysia, Thailand, Cambodia, all over the world. And who knows what it's going to be like, but I'm choosing to say yes to that fear. I'm choosing to do something that scares me. As Eleanor Roosevelt says, do one thing every day that scares you. That is what living big is about. That is when you can look back on your and say, wow, yeah, I was scared. I had that fear, but I felt it and I did it anyway. I busted through my fears. I got out of my comfort zone, and now I'm really living my biggest life. That's what I think is so darn exciting. Your dreams do matter. Often we get bogged down by the how. We have no idea where to start. Today we broke it down. We gave you a system, a process, a program that will help you take your big vision and your dreams so that you can break them down step by step. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. One small 5-minute or less piece of action at a time, because yes, your dreams matter. That is my commitment to you. If you are not into the tribe or it's not for you, totally get it. I still want to support you. You can still stay connected. I'll make sure that you get all the information you need. And if you're somebody who's ready to join a community of powerful, empowered women who are all about taking their dreams and taking action, who want to create an epic year, who want to check off those bucket list activities, who want to look back on 2017 and say, yes, this is the year I did it. This is the year I said yes to me, who said I was deserving enough to go after what I wanted. And regardless of what life threw in the way, I made it happen, then I really, really want you to join us on the tribe. All the information is at this website, the landing page. You can get all the information there. We're going to make this link accessible in the comment box now. If you have any questions, I'm going to stay on for another few minutes. I really, really want to invite you to think about joining the tribe, because it is going to be pretty darn amazing. We've got a hand raised, so I'm going to answer Carol's hand here. But before I go to that, no, I don't want to. Hold on, I don't want to stop the share. Sorry about that. So I'm going to answer questions, but before I get into that, I really want to acknowledge again each and every one of you for showing up today, for doing the work, for playing full out, and for choosing you, for recognizing that your goals, your dreams, and your big vision does matter. And when we figure out that system, when we can take one bite at a time, then that's going to become a reality. All right, Carol, your hand is raised. Let's figure out how we can do that. Okay. I'm sorry, Carol, I am coming. Okay, you are unmuted. Feel free to ask your question, Carol. Thank you, Deb. Thanks for joining. Okay, you're unmuted. Carol, do you have a question? Hello? Yay, Carol, you're live.
Can you hear me?
I sure can. Welcome, welcome.
I got, because I can't figure out technology. I had a huge problem joining this webinar.
Welcome.
And so I missed the first 20 minutes, and then I got interrupted with something. So when are you going to be, can I replay this at some point?
great question, Carol. And yes, I'm going to be sending the link out tomorrow, so you'll get the full recording then. Okay. But thank you so much for sticking to it, for your perseverance, for pushing through the technology mishaps, and joining us. I'm really glad you're here.
And so because I want to look at it before I jump in to join your tribe. So is that offer still going to be good tomorrow?
Absolutely. Great question. And I should have made that more clear, actually. So thank you, Carol. Yeah, tomorrow you're going to get the recording, and I'm going to give you those extra sheets that you can have as well, so you can continue to do this work above and beyond. And this offer is good until Friday at midnight. So no pressure to say yes right now, no pressure to say yes in the next hour, nothing like that. I want you to go home and think about it, and you know, go through what makes sense for you in 2017. And if this is something that makes sense for you, then absolutely come join. And the offer with the bonuses is only going to be available till Friday at midnight. That being said, if next week you realize, oh, you want in, you can still join, you just won't get the bonuses.
Okay, and so if I get the bonus and December 10th I'm not sure if I'm available that day. If I'm not available, do I also get a link later as well?
Yes. So if you're not available on the 10th, Carol, then I will definitely give you that webinar. In fact, everybody who is on the call today and who listens to the replay, for those who did sign up, they'll be able to get that. Now, there's another question as well. So for some other people, maybe like Carol or maybe others who signed up to listen to the webinar and unfortunately weren't able to make it, I'm still going to make that offer available till Friday at midnight. So the replay will go out tomorrow. If they watch it tomorrow and or Friday and they want to say yes to the tribe, then that offer is good for anyone who is joining us live today or who had signed up and are listening to the replay.
Okay, that's all my questions. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, and thank you again for persevering and for being with us, Carol. I much appreciate it.
No problem.
Okay, sorry I cut you off on the no problem. I'm going to mute you now. Okay, any other questions? Victoria, thank you so much for being with us. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate it. Love the feedback. Feel free to give more feedback in the chat room, ask any questions. So glad those of you who enjoyed it. And again, you're all gonna get the replay tomorrow and you will get those extra bonus sheets. Are there any other questions? Feel free to raise your hand. Diane, you're very welcome. I'm not making you take actions. I'm merely suggesting that you might want to take action. So you need to take that credit yourself. I wish I could do so. I'm just creating the space for you to be able to think about what it is that you want to do and then providing you with the process in order to take that action. But I'm not making you do anything. You get to take all that credit yourself, Diane. So thank you. Kathy, you're very, very welcome. You're signed up for the 10th. Amazing. I look forward to seeing you there, my dear. Great. Thank you very much, Tommy. I appreciate it. Much food for thought. Oh, the people who got the songs, I'm trying to think right now. We have, oh, and we just went overtime. I am so sorry. I acknowledge and apologize. We went overtime. My bad. I just get so excited about this stuff. In any event, if you have, if you got a song right, then I'm just going to ask anybody who has an idea to write that down in the chat box, and I'm going to decide. Maybe it's a private 15-minute call. Maybe it is, I don't know. What is it? Maybe it's a discount to the day. What should it be? Great. Oh, great, Tiffany. I'm so excited. Yes, it's going to be a fabulous year ahead. Oh, Diane, thank you very, very much. I can maybe take some of the credit for getting you excited and started and empowered, but you, my dear, it's all you. So I would love anybody to raise their hand if they have an idea of what gifts we can give those who got the songs right. So we have Tommy, we have Diane, and Kathy, I'm going to give it to you as well. So we've got Tommy, Diane, and Kathy, 3 prize winners who identified the songs that were playing quietly in the background. What are some ideas, folks? Some kind of sneak peek to the tribe. Oh, okay. Yes, we could potentially do that. A private 15-minute call sounds very valuable. Okay, so how about this to honor both Tommy and Tiffany's ideas? Tommy, I'll give you a sneak peek into the tribe. You can email me. I'm going to put your email here, carol@carolschulte.com. And I'm going to give you the first video. Okay. So I'm going to give you, Tommy, the first video. Oh, shoot. I think I emailed, hold on. And I'm actually going to give my personal email here in case anybody has questions for me about the tribe. If you email me there, Tommy, then I will give you the introductory video for the tribe so you can see what it's all about, okay? And I'm going to offer a 15-minute private one-on-one call with me to Diane and Kathy. So Diane and Kathy, if you could email me as well, carol@carolschulte.com, and we'll set up a time in our schedule and our calendar to do that. Are there any other questions for anybody on your Living Big Action Plan and or the tribe? Raise your hand now. You are so welcome, Kathy. Great, thank you. Anyone else? As they say, or as I used to say when I was a bartender, speak now, or last call for alcohol, speak now, forever, hold your peace. Anybody else, you can unmute yourself or you can raise your hand. Okay, I'm gonna unmute everybody for just a second. If there's anything that you would like to say, now's your time. Unmute all, go. Some of you went right back to mute. Okay, well, thank you all very, very much for being here. My name's Carol. Again, I so appreciate, celebrate, and acknowledge you for showing up, for playing full out, for committing to your big life. Cheers to you and to making 2017 your most epic year yet. Until next time, I'm Carol. Stay connected with me and don't forget to dream big, play big, and live big. Have a fabulous day, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.